Hey guys, Baron here. When we look at different Pokemon, we can see that different design ideas have gone into different ones. Some are animalistic, while others are robot, and some are mythological beasts. No matter what, there's a unique design to each Pokemon, something that Game Freak has worked on and tried to compose. So today, we're looking at the 10 best ones, the 10 best designs that Game Freak has ever made. With that being said, some Pokemon designs are better than others, making some stand out for positive reasons and others for, well, more negative reasons. So today, we are here to count down my top 10 best designed Pokemon. So before we get into the countdown, there are two rules that we're gonna abide by. So the first one is the initial impression. The Pokemon has to have given a good impression to me the first time I saw it, and has to be long lasting. The second thing is complexity. I want a complex design, and I'm looking at how many sources of origins Pokemon has when we sort of analyze and rank this list, so to speak. So for example, the Yaga being based on different myths would have a bigger chance of ending up on a list than, say, Magikarp just being based on a card. Of course, this video is completely opinionated, so please keep this in mind when you sort of watch the video. And if you disagree with my opinions, then please share them down in the comment section below, but please don't bash me. An opinion is an opinion, and let's just keep it civilized.
So uncivilized.
Of course, hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss an upload from me, and share this with a friend. But with that being said, let's get into the video. Coming into the number 10 spot is the pitch black Pokemon Darkrai. The very boogeyman of Pokemon. There are few designs darker and more sinister than this ghoul. Together with Cresselia, it makes up the Lunar Duo, and has just one of the edgiest designs in this series. It is all hanging out on Tumblr, posting deep things about, if I had a nickel for every time I cried at the back of an Uber, I would have another pair of sneakers. No, wait. No, that's Jada Smith. Anyway, I've always thought that Darkrai has a kind of mage design going on, with a slower body kind of resembling a witch's brew. And with the slenderness of this Pokemon, the glaring blue eyes and white wisp for hair, it would be a terrifying sight to see at the corner of your room. And with it being the Pokemon controlling nightmares, this wouldn't be that unlikely. The only thing that kind of bothers me about Darkrai is its legs. I mean, Darkrai just continues keeping leg day. Anyway, we have Darkrai at the number 10 spot for its nightmarish creepiness. Coming into the number 9 spot, we can find Celesteela. This might be kind of a shock to you guys, seeing as this isn't exactly a popular opinion, and that Celesteela is one of the newest Pokemon introduced in Sun and Moon as one of the terrifying Ultra Beasts, beings from another dimension. But I have some reasons for placing Celesteela on this list. First is how Celesteela is based on Japanese legends, specifically the story of Princess Kaguya. This essentially is a gripping story of a princess from the moon, which is found by farmers in a bamboo stalk to be raised by them and later returning to the moon. Yes, a very interesting story, for lack of a better word. Anyway, you can see this origin in Celesteela's design very clearly, with it having green layers, and it kind of resembling a woman with a dress with these layers. Something that is interesting too is how Celesteela has rockets on its hands. This wouldn't be that outstanding and special if Japan hadn't released their first satellite into space, formerly known as Selene, but nicknamed Kaguya in Japan. This is also shown by that Celesteela is a launch Pokemon, and of course a steel and flying type, making sense because it's, well, a spaceship. So for having one of the most complex designs and the most complex design origins possibly in a series, Celesteela placed itself on the number 9 spot. Staggering itself into the number 8 spot, we have Xerneas. The reason this legendary Pokemon of Kalos is on this list is just how much the design stands out. First point of interest here would be the massive antlers it has, with one color in each antler creating a complex pattern of colors. This Pokemon is a life Pokemon, and it certainly has a lively design. No? Okay, no punny? Oh, okay. Let's talk about something else. One thing that's cool about it is that it has an X as its irises in its eyes. something that is hard to notice, but nicely symbolizes that it is the mascot of Pokemon X version after all. Its legs have a kind of armor, long white designs, giving it a very futuresque look. Also a fun detail is how Xerneas is based on a tree of life from Norse mythology, but we'll get into that once we get to this Pokemon in our Legendary Origin series. But in general though, because of its cool and very distinct design and how much it really stands out, Xerneas owns the number 8 spot on this, birding itself into the number 7 spot. We have Arcanine. Sometimes, simple is better and it is the best formula, and Arcanine, while it has a cool design, is definitely not the most complex design, but there's a reason people adore this Pokemon, and I think that is because it has a regal and majestic look, just completely demanding respect. This is the kind of Pokemon you trust with your life to protect you, but also be a trusting pet that you could lie next to and cuddle to next to a fire. Wouldn't that just be great? Arcanine's just great, really being, well, man's best friend in a dog, but also a ferocious beast and a fire-breathing monster, really symbolizing what a great Pokemon is, and what it possibly should be, and that's why it is here on the number 7 spot. Sneaking itself into the number 6 spot, we have Frostlass. Now, not unlike Celesteela, this isn't a Pokemon that most people would put into a list like this. It is not very much a popular opinion, but not much unlike Celesteela, Frostlass actually has a really interesting origin, based also on Japanese myth. In Frostlass's case, it is based on the Yuki Onna, a lady who died in a mountain snowstorm and now haunts travelers, trapping men up in the mountain to die. Die a very painful death indeed. Frostlass typing proves this really, being an ice and ghost type. Frostlass's design is also interesting in this context, resembling a woman in a kimono, a traditional Japanese dress. And this is all while Frostlass looks classy as hell, and like it owns the battlefield. It's just the sassiest Pokemon in town. You can just tell that this is a design for Game Freak that they put a lot of time into, and a lot of effort into. And while evolutions of older Pokemon that were introduced in Generation 4 weren't the best design-wise, most of them were kind of shit, Frostlass definitely is a huge exception to this. Due to these reasons, Frostlass stands sassily on the number 6 spot. Flying into the number 5 spot, we have Flygon. Now, it isn't that surprising that this is a huge fan favorite when it comes to Pokemon, and especially from the Hoenn region. And it's not hard to see why it is. This Pokemon is really unique, with its coloration of a sandy yellow, green stripes, and red goggles, truly making it stand out amongst many other Pokemon. This Dragonfly Pokemon is also the spirit of the desert, adding it to so much interesting lore to this beast. I mean, it's so fascinating just running into it in the wild and just encountering it and wondering what it is. I can certainly say that when I was 6, playing through Pokemon Ruby, it was a Pokemon with the most different design, the one that really stood out to me. That should say something. The only thing that kind of bums me out is that we wanted a Mega Flygon for so long and we didn't get one. The fuck is wrong with the Game Freak? What's your reason? Well, we have a reason, okay. You had Artist Block. But that just proves that they literally couldn't make Flygon's design better, and they couldn't improve on it. I think that's pretty much enough arguments right there. Everyone is Shenron from Dragon Ball and Pokemon? Well, you don't have to wish for it, because it already exists. Isn't it great? Rayquaza is a Chinese dragon thing that is a lord of the sky and can Draco Meteor you to human dust. Catch a Draco Meteor, catch another Draco Meteor. That's just awesome. It doesn't hurt when the Pokemon has an excellent design too. It's just great and so intriguing. It is just super sleek and fucking terrifying. Seriously, when I saw this Pokemon at first, I literally shat my pants because of its glorious beauty. Still to this day, that is the case. Well, I don't shit my pants anymore, but I still admire its glory and its beauty. And can we talk about its Mega for a moment? It was like they had the Legendary meeting being like, Okay guys, 3rd gen remakes are coming out and we really already have new forms for Garden and Kyogre. What can we do with a Rayquaza? Oh, I know, let's give it a Mega Form with a bunch of yellow stripes, making it so OP that it's not even viable for Ubers, making it look even more like a huge Chinese fucking dragon. Yes, please! Need I say anything more? Rayquaza is at the number 4 spot. At the number 3 spot, we can find Bisharp. People give Unima design slacks for being boring or unoriginal. When they say that, I show them a picture of Bisharp, which will shut them right up immediately. And how could you not? With that samurai armor making you look like a fierce and ruthless soldier, and those arm blades being able to make quick work of you, turning your intestines into sashimi. It really was the first Pokemon, and possibly the only Pokemon, I've taken a quick look at and felt, hell yes, I need that on my team. And I did. And it was awesome. It has so many details, yet it looks so simple. Combining blades around his body, making it feel strange and obscure, yet using that samurai armor to its full utility, making it feel familiar in some way too, making trainers' eyes melt because of its awesomeness. Because of all these reasons, and being the Pokemon that made me think of what a good designed Pokemon really is, it is at number 3. Yet that means that 2 Pokemon have better designs than Bisharp. So the question is, what could these be? Placing himself just above Bisharp at the number 2 spot, we have Metagross. I think, out of all the designs for Pokemon that Game Freak has ever come up with, this is probably one of the mutual favorites among fans. And it's not hard to see why. Everyone loves robots, and when you combine this with a huge crab thing and a UFO spaceship thing, yeah, you've got a winning concept, I would say. Yeah. I've always thought that Metagross's X on his face kind of adds a mustache look to Metagross. Like he's an angry old uncle being like, "You whippersnappers, get out of my lawn or I'm gonna hammer arm you to death." So the lesson we can learn from this is to never cross Metagross' lawn, because we're gonna get fucked. Anyway, Metagross certainly gave me a big first impression. When I first played Pokemon Ruby, I saw Stevens, the Champion's Metagross, and I was like, wow, I don't know what that is, but I want it. And if Pokemon can strike that feeling into you, just based on looks, with both huge intimidation factors and respect, it definitely deserves to be high up on a best design list. Based on this, Metagross is at the number 2 spot. Pokemon is all about monsters in your pockets. It is about imagining about creatures out of this world, yet something that we can grasp with our laws of physics. In many cases, they are good or not based on if they pique our interests, if they are badass, if they keep us thinking and make us want to have it and use it in battle. So obviously, the number 1 pick had to reach all of these criteria, and based on that, I made the decision to put the Aurora Pokemon Suicune on the number 1 spot. With a complicated background, being based on different water deities of mythology from all around the world, it has a design based deep in lore. It also draws elements from the elements of wind and air, having northern lights as a main and kind of wavy things as kind of the tails. Overall, it just gives Suicune a very sleek and composed design. But what really sets Suicune apart from all other designs of Pokemon, and what really puts it on the number 1 spot here, is how it symbolizes the idea of a myth. From its appearances in the anime, appearing as a guardian and a nature spirit, to its appearances in the game being almost like a sought-after artifact, especially in Pokemon Crystal that is, it truly gives you the feeling that you don't really know if it's real or not. But that's the intrigue of it, and that's why you're so drawn to catching it and making it part of your team. You just know it is rare and special, almost more so than any other legendary Pokemon. And it's all because of its design as a true beast. That's why Suicune is at the number 1 spot as the best designed Pokemon of all time. So far anyway. Game Freak, bring it on. Top Suicune, and then we're talking. So guys, that was my list. What do you think of it? Do you agree? Do you disagree with my picks? Do you have any other wall design Pokemon that you would like to share? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your opinions. I know this turned into a bit of a longer video, but I certainly had to make it that way, and I really hope that you enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to that subscribe button so you never miss an upload from me, and share this video with a friend. But with that being said, I've been Baron, and I'm gonna get the hashtag out of here. Have yourselves a good day, and of course, stay awesome.